Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the New York session. We are recording this in the trading room, and this will be on YouTube. If you would like to join us live in the trading room here, all you have to do is register, and the link that is under this in the description of this video or any of the previous 6 videos we put out so far. That is 1 week of free access to the trading room. Join us. If you would like to have more of this, which means if you'd like to continue to be with us, send me a Skype message. The Skype link is in the description. Or if you have Skype already, just search Mangal457. Send me a message. I'll send you all the details of how you can either join the group full-time or how you can join the installment program. More of that when you send me the message. I really don't like to go through the long process of doing all of this. If you want to learn to trade, if you think what we're doing is helping you, then go ahead, send me a message, and let's get this going, right? So let's start. If you're watching any one of these videos accidentally for the first time, please go back and start from the very first video we started this week, which is on Monday, London session, because then you're going to have the chronological development of these patterns, what we do with them, how we trade them, what trades we took, what we did with the trades. Otherwise, you're literally going to be lost in the middle of the week where we are already looking at it. So we had this sell in the Aussie. As you can see, it's not dropping. It's coming down really slow. Sometimes they go down really slow. This was an example of how you start slow, but then it drops. So by rule, this trade is not to be closed as yet because that's the first move up. It's dropping. It's not sideways. It's not 3 sideways. So we're going to let it drop. If this candle doesn't break the low and the next candle, this one will close in about 10 minutes. And the next one opens, doesn't break the low, we're looking for an exit. What I believe would happen if that happens is that this will become more of a correction in the middle of this. So it could drop here. If it breaks the low and start to come back up and, we stay here for 2 or 3 hours, we'll probably close it because it could do this, go back up, make a bigger flat, and then drop. Normally, if this was all a correction, it would be dropping by now. It would not go so slow. So there's a good chance that this is still in the consolidation. It might still be here all day today, maybe all day tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow, sometime in London and New York, we actually get the impulse to the downside. As long as it consolidates in this range, it will be a sell setup. Let's start with the dollar index. So at this point, I should ask anybody in any trade actually that we need to look at, because that's how we start in the trading room. If anybody's in any trade, we start looking at those trades and then we move on to the majors, and then we move on to everything else, right? Okay, seems no one is in trade. So this is not an entry. This was actually to show you that we wanted to break the top of the impulsive downside. And like I said this morning, if it does break this top, that is good for us, because now we are thinking running flat. Now we want this to come back here, make a running flat, and that's a buy setup. Once it comes back here and give us a buy setup, we will take the trade. So we have people in trades, 3 trades. We look at this just now. So I'm looking at this as a possibility of a running flat for upside. Let's see how that goes, right? This is a running flat, means we are going to retest this top. And for all you know, this might be all the consolidation. Now, if you break the top of the running flat, we will take this trade. If it comes here, we will take it. If for whatever reason, it starts to go really slow, pull back again, go really slow, we're going to be channeling. From a running flat, it could change into a channel. Structurally, they're the same. If that channel happens, we're going to look at it 2 ways: an extended running flat or a channel for downside. If this thing channel a lot here and we notice that this is starting to do that, there's a chance we'll retest the low. Most likely for now, we are assuming that it's going to break out, because as the amount of information we have now is giving us a good chance to say it is going to go break the top. So we will work with that information. We will go with the buy. It doesn't matter what happens now. If you get the running flat and you take the buy, the chances are the worst case scenario is you're going to get a break even. Because if it starts to make a channel, it's going to take a long time. It will give you enough time to take off the trade for positive. If it takes off to the upside, you're in a good trade, you take your profit. If it goes sideways, even if it goes a little more downwards, it will have to correct upwards and you're going to get break even. See? So that is what wave analysis does. It gives you an opportunity to get breaking. We'll track it and we'll track the trade. So you'll come back here tomorrow and see what happens to the trade. Let's go. Aussie Swiss. Some people are tagged in the Aussie Swiss. Let's start with that. The Aussie Swiss sell. Good. Trade is going good. See, this is what I'm saying. If the correction is over, it drops. It doesn't stop and go sideways. It's dropped. This one is dropping. It's going down. So this is a good trade. Good job. At least 2 people I see in it. I think more people might be in it. Good job. Just keep it. You don't have to do anything right now. It's going really good. We'll see how far this goes. It means that when it breaks this low, that is when the first time we'll start thinking about putting it to break even. When they break the bottom of this. Why? Because if it wants to go back up, if this is going to make an attempt to go back up, the likelihood is when it breaks this low is when it's going to start a turn, right? So for whatever reason, the market is structured in such a way that the big orders normally come in the break of the lows or the break of the tops, right? Especially when it's in a consolidation. Don't ask me why. I am not part of that deal, but we notice that that is what happens. That's why the tops and bottoms are important. And I actually made a video about that, tops and bottoms. And some fool decided he's going to challenge me. He made another video saying tops and bottoms are not important. It's like somebody make a video, hey, Chinese language is very good. And a fool comes and said, hey, Chinese is not a language, right? There's nothing like a Chinese language because he has no knowledge of it. Some people really just do some crazy stuff. So they're very important. If you're using my method, it's super important. And you will learn that. You'll actually see it. If you follow us a lot, we'll start to show you the importance of it. But a lack of knowledge is not what you should start portraying out there, right? If you're going to portray a point, at least you must have enough, supportive method to show that it works. And that's what we're doing here. We will show you why breaking these lows and tops are very important. And so far, if you've been tracking what we're showing, I think we've been doing pretty good so far, right? So watch this here. I'm saying that for you, not for me. I know we're doing pretty good. I want you to understand that if you track the whole week, you will see it. So Aussie Swiss, good job. Stay with it. Peng Yen and Aussie Yen. Let's see, Peng Yen. Okay, yes. You got tagged on the Peng Yen, running flat. Don't worry. I think we spoke about this, that should you get tagged here, right? Because this one never went back, right? That never go back up. It's going back up here now. The idea was that it was going to go here, but we will still take it. Why we take it? Extended running flat. And then you get this. So it tag you, it's going up. Assume it's a running flat. Keep your stop above this stop here. Right? That's where your stop is. That's not where you're going to exit the trade. There's a difference in where your stop is and where you're going to exit the trade. You're going to exit this trade when it drops here. If it doesn't go all the way, right? Like we got this flat here now. It has to drop. If it starts to pull back really deep, that means it could be making this one. It starts to pull back really deep on one move. You don't do anything. You let it go. It's what happens here now. After that, it has to drop. If it dropped, good, you're in a trade. That's the trade. That's exactly what you want. You want this move to the downside. If all of that doesn't happen, and let's say this comes down here really, really slow, take off the trade. It's making a different pattern. If this drops really fast and then come back here, and instead of going down fast again, it starts to go really slow, take off the trade. So I hope by this afternoon we will see the drop, so I will be able to show you that. If not, at the end of the session, I'll come back to these trades and we'll show you again what to expect at the development of patterns and how you're going to. So right now, this could go down. Don't worry about it. If it stays there slow for the next 3-4 hours, we'll take off the trade. Aussie Yen. Oh, you got tagged on this one. This could go higher. Keep a stop above the top. This one could make a new high because this one is still in the correction. Right? See, they made a correction here. This looks like a very sharp one. We thought this would drop. If it dropped, it could drop through. Once it comes back here and it does this, it's probably making another flat, just a bigger one now. So these are smaller flats. Then it made a bigger one here, and this could be a bigger flat, which means if this comes back here, tag you here, it will have to take about 3 or 4 or 5 hours. If it comes back, tag you here, close the trade. It will go back up. And when it goes back up, you put an entry under this low. Either we stay here as a flat and drop, or it goes back, make a new high, and then drop. Every time it makes a new high, we'll put the entry under the low, right? So if you're tagged in this, don't worry. How much hours are you in it? Okay, that's just one move up. So we don't worry about the one move up. And even if it breaks the top, don't worry about it. Your stop has to be above here because we're still in the consolidation. So that is still a very good trade. We'll leave it like that. We wouldn't put any entry in as yet. Let's see what happens in here. Okay, what else? New Zealand CAD. Let's go to the New Zealand CAD. Okay, you got this New Zealand CAD from a long time. You should have closed it. That is this morning here. We closed that trade in the room. David, you weren't in this morning? We closed that in the room and put the entry above the top. So if you're still stuck in it, here's what you're going to do. If this comes back here, you had the chance of closing it with this one. This one could drop lower. It's already a small flag. See, that's already a small flag to drop. See this small flag here, use the chance to close it here. We closed it in this one because we saw that up move there. Okay, this might still go back up. I still think there's a chance it could go back up one more. The structure is still upside. We're just making a bigger consolidation here. So what you're going to do is if this goes back up, you keep a stop under this low. But if this goes back up here, it's not going to break out. This is the first impulse and a bigger flat here. See, this was a small flat we traded. It did break the top, but it didn't go. So when it doesn't go, it means they'll make a bigger flat here before it goes. In reality, what that means is this. Right here, the price were consolidating like this. Buys and sells orders were coming in like this, in volumes within a range, right? That is what it means. So if you were to look at orders as it is, you would see a lot of orders in this range here. And then you'll see that there's an order that takes off, like buy orders are going higher. So these are transactions, all in here, they're transactions, but minimal amount of transactions. At this point, you will see one transaction, then you see it turn like this. What that means, there was a big order here to sell. All the cells, and normally all the cells are filled here and then go. But at this point, there was a big cell that dropped it. And that consolidation that you're seeing there here, which wouldn't tag the top again, are still orders being filled equally with buys and sells. But this time it looks like this. When we see this, we look at what pattern is in here and what pattern is in here. This pattern was upside. This pattern here that you see, that small one there, that's downside. So we close the trade. See? Now, this could have stopped at the bottom here and go back up. If there was enough buy orders at the bottom here, just under this here, there was enough buy orders, this would have gone right back up. So what we did when we closed it is we put the entry order above the top. So should there be a lot of buy orders here, it will take off. Now the buy orders came in here. As you can see, that was a huge sell order. Or it's bigger than all the buy orders that were there, and it dropped the price to this level. So this is where buy orders came back in. Now there's a good chance in here now, what you're going to find is what I just draw. You're going to get a lot of orders being filled within a range here because this is not going to go out. That is rare. You can leave that entry order there, but this is not going to go out. From my experience, when they do this, what happens is it stays here longer. Buy orders are a lot, sell orders are a lot. Sorry, sell orders, it should be here. Buy orders are a lot, sell orders are a lot. So it will stay in this range, fill all the orders, and take off to the upside. If we see a structural change in this that says, you know what, it could still go down, we will change that. But as of now, if you're looking at the bigger picture, those are the smaller ones. If you're looking at the bigger picture, you see all those consolidations I draw? That's this one. We're still inside of that. So if you get a lot of filling of orders in this range here with a bigger flat like this that looks like this, it will go up. And then there's a high probability it will come back here and then go. Break that top, it will break this top, and then it's going to drop. That's how you do forecast. So into the forecast that you see me draw when I'm drawing all those arrows, it's understanding what the pattern is doing in here, what it is doing in here, and what it is doing in the entire daily structure. Why would it stop here and turn? Magic. You go to this one and you repeat the same thing. See? What is it doing? Orders are being filled in a very tight range like this. And when it's coming from this way, filling in a range like that, it goes this way. You can look at all of this and you will see exactly that. Right? Now, eventually, this thing is going to go which way? Just take what I just draw there, make it really small, make the daily, this is the daily chart. Make it really, really small. And remember what I did? The orders are all being filled here in a very tight range. coming this way, it goes out that way. When you see orders fill like this, the probability of this going up is pretty high. Here is an example. Here is an example. Here is an example. Here's another example. Here is an example. Here's a good example. And you can keep doing that all day. Here is one. Come this way, come here, go that way. Come this way, come here, go that way. And if you squeeze this tight enough, you have exactly the same thing. It's called the fractal nature of the market, right? So every little piece looks like one. If you played Lego when you were small, you would know what I'm talking about. You can fix pieces and pieces and pieces, and you will still get a square, as long as you're making square pieces. So we're going to expand that now to the 15 minutes, and that is where we trade. We trade in the very small pieces. So what we want is a trade from here to just break this stop, and then we'll be looking for the sell setup. Now, if you take that trade, no need to worry. There's a good chance you'll get break even. Your entry is here. We'll leave that entry here for you so that we can get out of that trade for you. Keep the stop under the low, because this consolidation will, if it comes back there for any reason while I'm in here, take it off, right? Take it off for break even, because it's not going to take off now. When you take that off, put an entry above the top, a couple pips above the top, 3 or 4 pips above the top. Okay, you just learned something. Let's go. A Euro CAD, CAD Yen. You're in the trade, or you just, we're only asking for trades you're in, right? Because Euro CAD, we didn't have a trade. We have a setup. We didn't. There was no trade in the Euro CAD. Where you're in the trade for what? The buy or the sell. We don't have any trade here. We didn't have it. We are waiting for a setup to sell. And we are waiting for this setup here to sell. Right? So we're looking for a sell setup here. That is this move down. From the flag. You have to, which flag? This flag at the top here? If you're in that flag, just stay with it. If you didn't close it. Normally, if you see this consolidation, you should close it. If you didn't close it in here, well, then you just have to put it to break even and stay with it. There's nothing more you can do that. I can't guarantee you that this is still not the running flat. See? You could still be in this running flat. This might be the flat inside of it. And you get 1, 2, 3, and this still goes back up. So put it to break even. Now, should this stay in the consolidation here and break, we will sell it. Right? So put it to break even, take the break even. Because this could still be the flat, right? This is an extension of a running flat. What you may hear me say very often is an extended running flat. Now, because this piece is not absolutely clear to be the flat, it looks like it is. You can put this, and this is the flat pattern here. You could also make an argument that this one is equivalent to this on the end of the structure. So as not to make sure that you don't get confused, I will leave it here. And if this is the consolidate and drop, we will sell it. Not enough consolidation is it. This could go all of them. See how slow it went, but it went up. It could repeat the same thing here, go break the top. Not interested in the buy. As long as we're in this range here, at the top here, I'm not interested in the buy. We'll still look for the sell setup. So as of now, keep an eye on this for a sell setup, not a buy. So if you're in this trade and you want it, you can put it to break even, or you can close it and put an entry under the low, whichever you choose. We will put an entry under this low for sell. So I'll put it as a sell setup, active sell. It's not going to drop lower if they're going up. They'll keep going up. We're not buying it. There's no point buying it. You wouldn't have a risk to reward trade. Okay, and CAD Yen. Let's see the CAD Yen. Okay, CAD Yen, we have a sell setup. That's an active trade. Okay, you got tagged in it. So it made a running flat in here. We'll call this a running flat since it tagged you there and pull back. And you're at the top of the running flat. So here's what we're going to do with this one. We're breaking out of this structure, and there's a high probability it will go there. So put it like this. It didn't drop to the bottom here. It actually went up. Sometimes they drop and they drop through. So what you're going to do is we're going to look for an exit. Your stop should be above here or above here, right? So you're looking for an exit in this trade. But move that stop to above here. Move your stop to just above this, because if this breaks, it's going. If this break out, they're totally going to go up. So keep it like about 3 pips above the top. What you're saying is if we wanted to buy it, where would we buy it? We'll buy this flag, right? If we wanted to buy it to break this stop, we would buy it right here for the upside. And if you're in a sell, that's where you exit it. You exit your sell with a buy, where there's a valid buy setup. So If we were going to buy it before this happened, it would be above here. That was where we had the stop. So your stop goes down a little now, and we're there. This is what you're going to wait for. If this keeps coming down like this, we'll see whether you can move that stop down and take it out. You'll try to take it down as close as you can to here. Should it drop suddenly, stay with it. Now, can it drop suddenly? Yes, it can. We've seen that case when this looks like a flag at the top there and the drop. I can show you a number of those. As a matter of fact, we had a few of those on the, I think it was one of, which pair we just had it from where we couldn't sell. Silver, gold, one of those were silver where we couldn't sell it because it was making like a flag at the top. It looks like a flag, it's not necessarily a flag. This looks like a flag, but this was the top, right? So this is just going slowly. It can still drop. If it still drops, the sell would be here. So I'll leave this here for you, for your trade, but if that still dropped, the sell would be here to get it from the bottom. When it comes beyond this low, put it to break even. Right now, it looks like it's trying to go up. We know they can break this top. So this with this structure, it could do two things. It go break the top and then drop, or this is a slow move down, which will allow it to drop. So this is where you'll exit if it goes up. If it comes down, you'll get break even, or you might even get the trade you're looking for. So stay with this. We'll keep coming back to this during the webinar again, right? So just stay with it. Don't do anything more. But then move the stop and stay with it. Okay, that's all the trades, right? So now what we're going to do is going to start with the majors. Let's go dollar index. We'll move fast because time is moving really fast. Dollar index, we broke the top. It has to come back here. See, this has a pullback, so don't worry about that little pullback. We want it to come here, make a flat, and then we buy. Right, so once it comes here, we want this to go back up, make a flag and buy. Or you can put an entry above the top. I wouldn't put the entry now because this is not an equivalent of this. So let it come down one more and then we put the entry. Is there a chance it's going to crawl up slowly? I don't think so. Let's see if it pulls back first. Right, so this wasn't an entry. This was just showing you where the top is, and it broke the top. You want this to come down. The question is, should we sell this? And since it's a running flat, I don't think the sell is a good idea. Because running flats, they're not going to go break the low. It has to come above this. It doesn't necessarily have to do that. It could literally just do this and go back up, and that will be a perfect running flat. So if you're selling here with a stop here, that is not a good trade. That's why we don't sell the running flats unless they're really huge. So what we're doing here now is waiting to see if it comes here and then go for the buy. We're looking for a buy setup. Silver. Okay, remember I said this morning, this one could drop. We're not selling it because it's going to drop. Or if you sold it, by the way, I hope you close it here. Right? Because remember, it has to go back up. We're looking for this move up. Right? So if you sold that, just close it. That's all. You have to close it. Now we might get the buy setup. What we want is this to go up here. You want this. This is the move up we're looking for. So you want it to go up like this. Actually, I wanted to reverse this one. Make a flag here. And then we're going for that trade. It might not go in a straight. It might make a small one, go there, then come back and then go. This end up making a big running flat. We'll see how it goes, but we want the buy setup. And it's actually going exactly how I want it. It's going up really sharp. That's exactly what we want. So any flag now would be a buy. If some of my traders bought it already, I don't know how aggressive you guys got, but if you bought this, excellent. Anybody took that risk? That's out of curiosity. Nobody did. Okay. The trading room was closed, right? So this would have been like, yeah, once it breaks the low and start to go back, that could have been a pretty risky buy. Wait for a flag now. Any flag, it's a buy. Flag buy. Because we have a good reverse. This one, this is a trouble to buy. This one came back pretty deep. We wanted to the upside also, but it came back like really deep. We'll have to take the trade, but okay, let's put it here. Let's bring it down a little. This one is pretty risky because this came back really deep, which means it can still go, break the top, come back, retest the low, and then go. It doesn't have to do exactly what silver does, right? This could be a flat, just like silver made a flat, drop, break the low, and then go. The depth of this tells me that there's a possibility of flat. So if we buy this, we're buying a risk here. Maybe we're taking the risk. Let's see. I don't like this buy. Let's wait for a flag. So we'll take this out. We'll wait for this to make a flag and then take the trade. Silver will have to make a flag before we get it buy in any case. So if it's going up, let's get a flag. This is a deep correction, too deep. This morning it was good. Right now it's way too deep. Wait for that. You don't want to get it tagged at the top of a flat and then watch it go down. So this one will take that off. Euro broke, so same thing. We want euro to come back up here. And then we get the sell. You want that move up? And then we'll go for the sell. I'm not sure the buy is a good idea. Well, if you want to take the risk, it's kind of it'll be a pretty risky trade. Put an entry here, put a stop here, and if you're lucky, it gets there. If you're not so lucky, it comes here and go down. But if you like risk, that is a trade you can work with, right? Because we were expecting this to happen. It came down, running flat. So once it breaks through this, it's probably going to, don't try to take it here. This could still go lower. You wanted to prove that it's going up by breaking out of that little consolidation to the upside. So that would be a super risky trade, but a buy. It might even happen. Do we have any news event, by the way? We should have checked that before I put on any trade. We have at 6:15, now is 5:12. Okay. If by 6:15 this thing doesn't go, take it off. Because in a news event, this move up and down could be really fast. You wouldn't have a chance of taking break even if you wanted to. Pound, running flat. One move more up like this, and then we're ready for that trade. One more like this, and then we go for the trade, right? So you have the same thing here. Sometimes they're expanding flat, but I wouldn't think you want to trade this to see whether it's an expanding flat, right? It should come here, and then we're looking for a sell setup with this flat. See? So let's see if we get it. It goes up there, we'll get a nice sell. So you wanted to go up there before the news, and during the news, it can drop. That would be good. Let's see if we get there. I don't think if you're going to take a risk, you want to take it with one of them, not all of them. Aussie. So all of them will be looking for sell setups. We're not doing anything there. So Aussie is actually kind of, if it tag here, like I said, you want to close it here. If you didn't close it, it will probably drop one more time. Close it because this also looks upside. This here also looks like this will be an impulse. It will consolidate here for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do tag this, lower a bit more and then go. But there's news event come up. So if you're tagged in this, try to get out here as fast as you possibly can. Right? Because this didn't drop. This should have dropped like that. It didn't drop like that. By all means, you close that trade. You have about 3 pips loss taken. And now we're going to, if you're still in it, watch this next candle comes here to close the trade. Because we're going to expect this to go up and then come back down, make a flat, and then we'll sell. Can we buy the Aussie during the news? Maybe we'll give it a try. Aussie and New Zealand, if we're going to put them, we're going to put them as buy setups during the news. New Zealand coming down, not the way we expect because this is flat. So this morning, remember, we took it off because I believe they'll make a flat, or they're making a flat here. This one came pretty deep, so it will be a flat. Even if they come back here or not, this is not necessarily going to break the low like the euro and the pound, because the euro and pound structurally were different. This stays here, so they'll probably just break that up and then drop. We'll get a flat like this, and then we'll sell it from the top there. So let's see. Let's wait on these. Can we buy these during the news event? We might as well consider if they're going to make a very sharp move up, because structurally this is upside. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if, for whatever reason, we get a sharp move to the top and then kind of come back here and go, right? Or a pullback really sharp and then go. That could possibly happen. So we'll see if we want that trade. Yen. Okay, we're looking for a running flat, but you didn't get it. It just keeps going. And we still don't have anything for this. So we'll probably get a running flat somewhere in the future. Yen looks like it's going to get to the top. Take this out. It's going to be a running flat, but somewhere in the future. So buying the yen is a little dangerous. It's moving really slow with a lot of pullback. You'll probably close it. It'll just go and break the top and then come back. It can work its way up like that. All day, not really good trading, because every time you take it, you'll probably be closer. You get sharp pullback like this. If we get a pullback now in this session, if we get that pullback, we'll definitely buy. You'll go for that trade. Right? Because then we know that this will give us this trade to break the top. So that was a trade you can go for. Let's see if we get it. See, like this pullback here when this happened. This sell here was good. This sell was good when this pullback happened. They made 1, 2, 3. They went there. They even pulled back this one, but then that drops to that one. This flat here is pretty good. So let's see if we get something similar to that. Then we can go to the buy. Otherwise, that you buy it here, they'll drop. Swiss, yeah. Like I said this morning, we were going to get a bigger flat here. Turns out we got a running flat. This is good because now we can buy it. If you get a running flat here, we can buy it. Okay. I think somebody got tagged in this one here when I say keep it for this to go back up. If it comes close to you, take it off. Because it's a flat, we thought this would make a flat, not a running flat. But even if you close it, they were pretty good because it's a running flat. So can we put this piece into it? I don't think we need to. This looks like a good running flat. This is a smaller correction of its own. All right, so once it go back, I think you were tagged here. So once this go back there, you close the trade. Okay, let's see what happens here. We'll be looking for a buy setup. So you can put an end short above here. If we get any flag on the way up, we'll take the flag. But for now, we're going to take the end shorter. That will bring us back to the top here. We're in this range. We're not going to leave this range. All right, we need to go back and watch, I think it was yesterday's webinar where I explained that this could probably go there and start coming back again, but we will still take the buy because sometimes they might do this and then pull back deep and go again. We don't know how complex this piece is going to be, but we're going to go with the buy. If that drops lower, we can't sell it. I don't see the sell setup. So let's just wait and let's see what happens. What else we have? So this one is an active buy. You can put that entry order on now. Well, we would put that entry order on. That's something you should put on. Disclaimer, we're not making trade calls. I'm showing you how we trade, right? So in short, I think everybody knows that. CAD is going up. We didn't get the pullback as deep as we wanted. We did get a pullback though. I don't know if anybody took it. Yeah, that could be enough. We did get a pullback actually. If you want to buy, it's just above here. We have news at 6:15. That is exactly an hour. If you take this trade, you have to be really, really sure you can handle it, because if it doesn't go far enough for you to put it break even, you have to close it. It's a valid trade right now. This is what we're looking for in the yen, that pullback to get in trade. So that trade is valid. That's a buy, right? Now, the problem is we have news, and if they stay here until the news, you have to close the trade. If they pull back, you have to close the trade before the news. If it goes good, you can put it to break even and leave it. So you can still take the trade. The stop for that trade will be under here for now. Can it pull back deeper for a deeper correction during the news? I don't think so. We're trying to go up. We're trying to get to this top. So I think during the news, we can actually get to that top and then come back. Because when we break that top, we're expecting it to come back again. We have another sharp move down, which would be this one. Or I'll look at this one here, right? Okay, this move down. So, and if 1 hour it looks like this, I'm going to show you the pattern again. If you didn't see the patterns that I just showed there, watch the earlier videos, because we showed this pattern. We show why we think it will go back and why you should come back here and then go break the stop. And remember, it was dropping when I tell you it cannot drop forever because it has to break the stop before it go down. If you were here Monday morning when it was dropping, and I told you, well, I'm not really worried about that coming down here because it has to break that top before it starts coming down. So we were looking for a possibility of this one or this one. We got that one. They go back there, they come back here, then they keep going. So 1 hour, let's see. Euros. Okay, if anybody is tagged in this one. Close it. It's making a flat here, which means this looks like it will either go really slow or they'll go back up. It most likely will go really slow. I don't think they're going to go back up. I think it will break out. So if you got tagged in this one, she's making a small flat here. It will probably go there and then come back. Keep a stop here. That's the first thing you want to do. If you see this comes back here, close it. And because it's going to come here, consolidate, and then we'll put an entry under the low again. It's consolidating. It's not going up, right? This is consolidating here. So you don't want to stay in the consolidation in here. The only way you stay with this trade is if the next candle drops through the bottom and break this low. Most likely that's not going to happen. You're in New Zealand. Oh, you're out of this sell a long time ago. This was a sell, we're out of that too. That is, sorry. Put back this, I wanted to take out the other one, the sell setup. That is this one. We can put an entry order here to sell. I don't think they're going up. I think we're just consolidating for more downside. Let's put this here and see if we think they're going to go up, right? If it's going to go up, it has to break through this and make a flag before we buy. I wouldn't buy the entry above here because it looks more downside, except it's going really slow. This whole thing is moving really slow, right? You can see the way it moves. Look at this move. And that still went up, right? So this coming down like this could still drop. But take off the trade and put the entry under the low. So wait for a sell setup here. Well, it's an active sell. Still not buying. We were here and we are right there. So we're still not buying this. Let it break the top. We're waiting for it to break the top and then look for the sell. It didn't come pretty deep though. I wanted this to come deeper here, but maybe this is the flat. And this is the smaller version of a flat. So let it break the top, reverse, give us a flag, and then we sell. We're not buying that until we get this impulse. All right, so we want this impulse down. And then we'd look for the buy setup. Then it makes that move down, and then we'll start looking for a buy setup from here. All right, so it makes a pullback, and then we buy. Leave it. Euro CAD. Okay, so this one is going up much higher. It's coming now, right? So I think somebody is the Euro CAD, right? Euro CAD sell. Take it off if you're in this sell, right? So I hope you take it off for break even. Put the entry under the low, let's see, because it can go back up. We're not interested in the buy. Should it go back up? We're not interested in buy. We're only interested in if it drops to the bottom here now. It looks like this is the running flat, and we're going to test the top before we go. Euro Swiss. Okay, this one is dropping nice. Let's see. This is not going to go to the top now. At one point in time, I thought they will go break the top and then come down. It's probably not going to go anymore because this is a sharp one. So we'll go to the 1 hour and we would look for the sell setup. So what we want is any other flag. We didn't take that flag because that wasn't a clear flag for downside. So now any flag from here, we're selling to break the low. We'll put it like this and we'll assume that that is all you got for the running flat. And we were expecting a little higher. So that is this running flat here. So now it should go down. Let's see if it's going to go. Any flag, because it can reverse. Should it reverse, we'll buy. If it's going to drop here, we need any flag. And then we'll go back up, right? So we need any flag here to sell. Go back on the 1 hour, get a flag, sell it. Yeah, this one didn't give a good sell because it was way at the top. They went back all the way to the top. This one wasn't a sell good. This was more like a sharp move up a flag and a very small one there. So now any flag under here is a sell. We'll go with the sell. So if it's going to go back up, it will go really sharp. You can put an entry rate to buy, but that's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to go back up. We're coming for the low. So wait for sell setups. Now we're waiting for this, wait for the flag. Euro pound, that's what we're waiting for all the time because we weren't going to buy it either. Euro pound, okay. So if you're in this trade, I hope you closed it. Remember I said it could repeat this, go up to the top and then start to drop, right? So what we want for the drop, we want a small flag. I think I showed you what it should look like, right? The small flag for the sell. We actually had one here. I don't think anybody sold that. Yeah, probably not. So here's where you're going to read. If you didn't sell that, don't worry. Wait for this to drop a little more. It will make another flag, maybe something like this even. And then we sell. You're selling it to break this low. And if we're lucky, they drop all the way to the bottom. Remember, we sold that one, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to see. We bought this one and we closed the trade. We bought that one, you close the trade. So what we're going to do here now is watch to see if it drops and break this low. Because if you break that low, the chances are you're coming back to retest this low. Right? What we're going to look for is this move. If we get a flag here and it drops, get a flag there and it drop here, break that low, the chances are we're going to work our way down to the bottom. So keep your eyes on the sell setup. Wait for a flag. The small flag is gone. That is this one. So wait for a flag. If this thing is going to go back up, we'll buy it. But I don't think it's going to go back up. Looks more downside right now. So I'll put wait for a flag and then we'll see if that changes. Wait for a flag. That's the pink one. Pangos. More like a flag now. Keep the intruder right here. Right, that looks more like a flag. We don't have a buy setup in it. If you're trying to go up, it's not going up enough for us to buy. So the assumption is that it's going to drop through the bottom, tag this low. Let's wait and see. If it's going to become a buy, it has to go up sharp, make a flag, and then we buy. This is more like a flag for sell. So in the 1 hour, that's all you have. That's still a sell set. We'll stick to that, which means we're assuming that this is part of the downside. We don't know that for sure until it breaks this low. Then we'll confirm that because it didn't come from the top, right? This is the top. And we're just assuming because structurally this is very sharp to be a correction. Yen. This is the ones some traders are tagged in. So we're going back up. If we're going back up for this, is going to get a little higher and then downside. It still will come back. Then your stop has to be somewhere above here. Well, maybe this time it's going to drop totally, right? If it's making this move up here, then it will drop totally. That will be the total drop because this will be the running flat. So let's see which one is going. I don't see any contracting flat in that to change the pattern. So I don't see like it's changing the pattern. Pound New Zealand, sell setup. We close that trade, we close the second trade, we're looking for a sell still. That's just a pullback right now, but it could drop. And let's see. Pound CAD. Okay, this one could still be upside. Let me see if there's any sharp move with this. There is a lot of sharp move here. So we can't put an intruder above that because there's a lot of sharp move, which means running flat is possible. There's two ways you can trade this if you want to the upside. One is put an entry above the top. That is assuming it's going to go really fast all the way to the top because we have a big move to the upside. Or the second one, let it break here and make a flat. Because there are a lot of sharp pieces in here that could create a flat and even go back down. So we can't put it above the last impulse. It's not a clear, right? This is not a clear impulse down. So you just pull back here and then came here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually go back down, right? This is kind of a big correction happening here. And it's not over. Put an entry above the top. Or if we get a flag here, we'll take the flag. Go back to the 1 hour, let's say. If this goes, the move is very big. We're expecting this to go back all the way to the top here. And we're expecting it to go back and break this top. So that move is a good one if it should go. Aussie Swiss. Two good trades so far. So if this starts to consolidate, take your profit, put another entry. Right? If it makes a flag here, we take the profit off and we put an entry under the low for the trade to go. So it's going to go down, but it's going to go down in a number of things. I explained that, right? You don't have to stay with it. You can take profit off each time and re-enter on the next flag. It's the same trade. Now, you may say, if I'm a swing trader, can I sell it here and keep it there? That's making an assumption you know it's going to go down for sure. Now, this thing could stop exactly where it is here and go back, make a new high, and then go down. And that would be okay. That would be part of the bigger pattern. So if you're looking at this a bigger pattern like this, right? This is the bigger pattern. Nobody says this thing can't stop right here, go right back up there, come back here, and then go. See? So when you're selling it, each sell, we're assuming that it's going to go lower, then probably do that. We're still expecting this to make a flat and go. Question is, how low would this go? So every time it's dropping, take your profit. Every time it starts to consolidate, take your profit. Daily structure is upside. Right? I think I just explained this today, right? Up move, all the consolidation is in here. You're expecting this to go out. And although we expect it to go out, we're still selling. That's the amazing thing, wave analysis. You can make money selling this one, although the bigger picture is upside. So when I see some traders or some gurus out there are doing charts on 4 hours and daily and showing you structure, what they're actually telling you is that I don't know where it's going to go, so I'm not going to show you anything you can trade. I'm just going to tell you, well, this is a big one. I expect it to go up, and that's it. You're on your own, right? What we are actually showing you is how you trade this structure. Each step, where you enter, where you stop, how you manage it. You take that trade, you close it here. You put another entry there. If this one comes back here, the same thing you're going to do. Close it, not with the first move up. It starts to consolidate, close the trade. Not with this first move up. See, that first move up is not your close. When it comes here and it does that and it starts to consolidate here, that's where you close the trade. Right? Because this consolidation here could have gone up. So when you close the trade at the bottom there and you put an entry here, that's a good trade. It comes here, it go back there, good trade. It stays here, it starts to do this, close the trade. Put an entry under the low. It will probably come here, go back there. We get another flag, we sell it. If for whatever reason it comes like this, and then start to consolidate, close the trade. We'll buy this one tomorrow or this afternoon. If this is going to go up, it will probably go up slow because it's going to come here, make a flat, and then go. This is a range we can trade in whole week until Monday, maybe even after that. So the difference in how people show you the trade, right? How they explain it, how they're showing you step by step what is going to happen. That's the difference in it, right? I saw one guy was showing it in the 4 hour, and I was like, dude, that's one candle in the 4 hour. Do you know how many trades is in that candle? Like literally, he was okay. Well, I'll wait for this candle to stop, and like it has 2 hours more to stop. 2 hours more is a trade. It's a whole trade in the candle, right? But that makes it look nice because when you show these charts, they're simpler, they're easier to explain. They don't leave a responsibility to the person showing you it. The higher the time frame, the easier it is. Oh yeah, we're looking for an upside. Good job. Try trading it. We'll be looking for a buy setup. Well, we just took 2 sells. You can keep looking for a buy setup, and we are selling right now. Not that he's wrong about it, because eventually it's going to get here. Right? Eventually it's going to get here. And as one guy said, oh, we took a lot of trades in that one. No, you didn't. You know how I know it didn't? Because I went back to the chart where he said we bought there and we sold here. And inside of that piece, I'll show you what happened. I think I came back and I showed my traders did it, right? Because somebody sent me the chart. I was saying we were selling this piece here. We were actually selling it here. And somebody sent me a chart. Why were you selling? This guy bought the look money he made here. And inside the chart, you had a move like this. You had a flag here, and it actually dropped this deep back into this thing. And then it went back like that. You don't see it on the higher time frame. But once you go to the 15 minutes and the 1 hour, you see that, which is exactly what we're doing, right? You don't see this sell setup we're doing here. You can't see that because that's small sell, right? If the next candle stop, goes back there, and the next one come back here, and then it does this, you wouldn't see all the trades we take in there. It would look like, oh yeah, you bought here and you've closed here, that's perfect. No, you cannot do that. It's impossible if you're a retail trader and you're trading daily like us. Because you're going to panic unless you have a steel heart. I've seen traders who try that and end up losing their account. It looks easy when it's going. After the fact, everything is beautiful. Trading is not an after the fact thing. Trading is now. What is the trade now? How do you take a trade now? How do you manage a trade now? And after the fact, I can show you 1 million trades that you probably would have been a billionaire with, but that's after the fact. Aussie Swiss. Sell setup, going good. Nothing to do with it. Just stay with it for now. Aussie Yen. Sell setup. We're looking for the exit. The stop is above it. So that you know, the stop of this trade is above the top here. When we took this trade, I said, keep your stop above here because it can come and break this stop and then drop. right? If you want to know the rules to that, go watch this morning webinar. That's the explanation for the trade, because we saw that possibility, but we still took the trade, because if it was going to drop like the Aussie CAD, you would regret not taking it, right? Now all we have to do is manage it. And like a time of traders, if it breaks that top, we'll manage our way out of that trade because it's going to drop. Now here's the deal. It's consolidating in here, and that is not what we were expecting. I was expecting it to go and break the top. We were looking at this as a possible flat, should that happen, expanding flat. But that's not what it's doing. It's actually consolidating here. And if you know anything about this consolidation, you're thinking running flat or regular flat. So you're thinking this is going to go break the top, but it's going to come back here and go back up. So at any point in time, if this comes here or it comes here and give you break even, take off the trade. Put an entry under this low or wait for a flag. Why we put an entry under this low? Because when this comes here, if this is a correction that is actually dropping, it will drop through the bottom, so you still want to trade. We might get a flag before that. But if it is not, then what it's going to do is it's going to come here, tag you, you didn't take break even, and it goes right back up. Nothing is wrong with that. You'll still get out of the trade. But now you have to live through this headache, and you have to live through waiting for it to come back. Why do that? Why waste time? You don't have to live through it. You can just get rid of the trade. Remember, your job is not to protect the trade. I think this is where traders get it wrong. They try to protect the trade they're in. Your job is not to protect the trade. The trade is irrelevant to you. Your job is to protect your account. Right now, your account is at risk. Is at risk of making a loss. Not that it's going to happen because your stop is here. I don't think that is ever going to happen, right? We'll have enough time to get rid of that trade before it even gets to that, though. There's a rare case of that happening, right? So we need to close it here or even for less. I want you to get break even on the trade, not just take a small loss, but take break even. So what you're doing is saying my account is right now at risk. I need to protect that, not protect the trade you're in right now. It might sound simple, but psychologically, that's a problem for 90% of the traders out there. Once they take the trade, their job becomes protecting that trade, to bring that trade to a winning point. It's like, this is my trade. It has to be a winning trade. Why should I have a losing trade? I don't want a losing trade. I want a winning trade. So I'm going to make sure I do all I can to protect the trade. I'm going to remove the stop. I'm going to do all kinds of stuff, hoping this trade comes back and become a winning trade. I know all of you in here have never done that. It's the other people we're talking about, right? None of you here have ever done move your stop or try to protect that trade. It's the other guys out there. It doesn't have, not to us, right? Every trader thinks so. It's not there, no, not me, it's somebody else. Every one of us did that at least once. Don't do it, right? Aussie CAD. Good. It's not going up. It's coming back down. No big deal. It will go up. We'll deal with it, right? It's just consolidating bigger here. See, they came back to the top here. So they're probably going to make a bigger flat in here, something like that, and then we'll look for the buy. We're not selling this as yet because structurally this is not a sell. It's not making sense for a sell. When it starts making sense, we'll sell it. As of now, we expect it to go back up. When it breaks the top, that'll be perfect. If it's dropping from here, sell Aussie Yen. If it's dropping from there, sell Aussie Swiss. Right? If it's dropping from there, sell anything else. Don't sell that. Aussie New Zealand, let's see. Right? Sell Aussie New Zealand if it starts to drop. See? Aussie New Zealand is a good sell. That sell is still valid. There's a little flag here that could drop. So this sell is still valid. Sell anything else. Don't sell the Aussie CAD. See? Let the Aussie CAD remain where it is. New Zealand Yen. This one came down, but it didn't tag you. We stayed away a little. I think we surprisingly got, remember I showed you the running flat in it? The reason we keep it here, I said it will pull back. We move it a little away from that because we were watching this one. I thought it would only do this and then go back up. Well, it actually came a little deeper. So we did the right thing by moving away a little from that one. Now it's going up. This will break the top and the sell comes here, just under this one now, because this is the thing. This is the running flat. Go back and watch the webinar this morning for this piece. See, those explanations before it happens will help you to understand how you're trading as well. Before that came down, we explained that there's a possibility for it to come down because we had this sharp one here, right? And we had this and told you there's a light. This is going to go up, break the top. This still looks downside. So it's still a sell. That is still a sell. It doesn't matter how deep it comes into this. We have had cases where they went even deeper into that and they still drop. And let's go back and take a look. I'm not going to go with this one because this is the correction. Actually, this move went all the way to the top there and then dropped, but we're not looking at, we're looking at the single drop, right? So we have to go find another one. This one is a good example. There was a deep consolidation at the top before it dropped. This one wasn't that deep. Let's see another one where this pullback here actually came all the way to the bottom. See that first impulse came to the bottom. We thought it would drop one more time and instead it went up. Let's see. You can find the tops or the bottoms of some places where you have it. If the charts come up. Good. This one was pretty deep. See that first one there was pretty deep way back to the top. Before it dropped. We don't have any other deep one here. No, this one was really quick. This one actually went back all the way to the top. This is the top. This one here is the top. See where the line is. That one went all the way back to the top before it dropped. This one went way back to the top, see? And then came down. So it's normal in this pair, that's a normal thing. I wouldn't be worried about this pullback here. And it's very corrective, so the drop should be okay. We're still looking for a sell. Let it break this top, and then we look for the turn. If you get a flag before this entry, take the flag. On the way down. New Zealand CAD. Yep. If you didn't close it there, it would probably go back one more time, close it, right? It's going to drop, so you want to close it. It's going to come deeper, right? It's not going to drop totally, but it's going to come a little deeper. I still think there's a chance it could work its way up like this, and then come here and then go. See? We might most likely break this top, and then we're going to look for a drop, right? So, you know, this Aussie CAD, likely one more up. New Zealand CAD, likely one more up. Only the CAD pairs, New Zealand Yen is a sell, Aussie Yen is a sell. Right? So there's a chance that this is going to be a CAD movement. So keep your eyes on it. Dollar CAD has one more move up. We know that. So those move to break this top only and then drop. Very small move, not big moves. New Zealand Swiss. Okay, so we thought this would go up a little more. Didn't take it off. We're trying to go more into that. It's dropping already. Let's see if we want to sell. I think we should want to sell. What's the big picture? Just correcting. As of now, it's just correcting this one. That move up. So put it in the 15 minutes. Let's see if we want to sell it. Not too sure I want to sell this. Okay, we did have something like a running flat here. This one was pretty small. And a 1, 2, 3, go back up there. If this stays here long enough, we'll sell it. If we get a good enough flag to sell, we'll sell it. I don't like this sell here because it can break the low and turn. So we'll wait on this one. Structurally, this is not good. We'll take that off. We're not doing anything there. Let's go. CAD Yen. Buy setup. Still valid. Right? So if you were in the sell here, I hope you managed to close it here. When it pulled back, if you didn't close it, there's not going to be another pullback now. It could likely go break the top, so you have to take the stop here. If you manage, I think somebody was in it, right? It did drop a little deeper just now before it goes back up. I hope you closed it somewhere here. That was only a few pips. Take the few pips loss. That's like 3 pips, 5 pips. If you close it 6 pips loss, even that's okay. Somebody was in the trade. Did you close it? I know trade. It's hard to close trade sometimes. So you're going to get a second. If this comes back here, this is your chance. Once it comes to this low, close it. If it does come back. If not, you'll have to let it take you out there. But there's a chance it can come back. So if this comes, it's consolidating a lot here now, so they will go up. It's mostly upside. Right? That consolidation here is mostly upside. It's not downside anywhere. See, they kind of do this. It's pretty much upside. I don't see the chance where this goes down. Right? It could come back here as a consolidation, but it still looks upside. Let's just keep this in line and see what happens. But this sell entry can stay here. It doesn't matter if it goes up, it's not going to tag you. The only chance of this is probably that it might break this top and come back. That is a possibility. But you don't want to take the chance. Let it take you out there and put an entry order to sell here. Or if it breaks this top, put an entry order to sell here. Right? But let it take you out, because if this thing takes off, there will be no chance for you to get out. Right? You'll have to stake the loss at some point. And that consolidation looks upside. So it's better to close and re-enter, take the loss and re-enter. If it comes back close to here, close the trade. I hope you did. See, that's where closing trades become very difficult, which is when we trade the news. I am in the room to say close the trade now, because it's not easy to close a trade. If any of the trades we are looking at come back close enough like that, just ping me a message so we can go in and I can tell you, yes, you should close the trade here. Right? So we can go and help you make sure you closed it. CAD Swiss. Okay, this one we didn't do anything. We were looking for a buy setup. We didn't get it. I was waiting for this to come back and then go for running flat. It didn't do that either. Are we going down? Let's see. I don't like the downside here. It's not, there's no need to go down anymore. This could just be a deep pullback. Let's wait. No sell. We're not selling. The downside is limited. It's not a big move to the downside. So if this starts to go back up, I think we can fix it, set this as a running flat, fit this piece here. So if this starts to go back, make a flag, we're buying. It will be a deep pullback, that's all. Any up move here with a flag is a buy. Wait for, yeah, we can leave it, wait for the buy setup. CAD Swiss, Swiss yen, sorry. Okay, it went and broke the top. That was not a buy setup. That was showing you the top. Take it off. We didn't have a buy setup there. We were trying to see whether this one was going to drop, but instead that went up. So take this off. We're still looking for a sell setup, except now we look for a sell setup from a higher point. So somewhere in there is a contracting flat. Somewhere in here there's a contracting flat, or just a regular flat with this one. Just a small regular flat here. Right, then another flat. So the trade we're looking for is not the up trade. We're looking for a sell setup. Wait for this to, let me just show you why we're not keen on the buy, so that you could get the bigger picture. Okay, well, this just went weird. Took a long time to get this, right? Let's go back to the daily and see. Let's hope this we have all, yeah, we have all the charts here. Good. Why is this chart looking so strange? Very, very strange for some reason. Good, this is what we have. This was going up. You got one, you got two, they broke the top, they came down back here. You got one, you got two, we broke this top by a lot. We're expecting this big move down. Now, that is just, that doesn't mean it can't go a little higher, right? That means it can still go a little higher. What you're going to look for is the daily. The daily structure where you're looking for is what you have here, what's happening there. So we made a very sharp impulse, which is this one, way to the top, right? That was the buy setup. You can see this flat there, they actually go. There was a number of buys there. We don't buy the daily, we buy in the 15, we buy and sell both. So you can see these were buy setups to the upside. This piece here we thought would break the top, but then it dropped really deep here. When it drops so deep and it give you this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 inside of this, it's either making a bigger flat or it's going to totally drop. Now, from this point, it's a sell. Now, the higher it goes into this, it's still a sell, but it's a sell for this piece only. Then we start buying to retest the top. So first you want the impulse back to the downside. You want this impulse back down. And if at this point, this starts to go back up, we'll buy. If this keeps dropping, we'll sell. So we're not interested in getting a trade like this. We're interested in getting this trade and if possible, all the way down. Or get the buy, but get this buy. So wait for it, let that go up. You can't predict how fast or slow that thing is gonna go. Right, so it was moving like this and it was moving very, very slow. We wanted to buy this to break that up and we decided not because the first entry didn't go, the first entry here didn't go, break even. Then we got a second break even, just leave it. What we want now for the trade is a reversal here, a small reversal here. Give you a flag here and then we're going for this one. Structurally, this piece is not impulsive. So I'm not sure if it's going to drop now, but we'll give it, if we get this set up, we'll take this drop to come, break the low, and then we'll see if it starts to go back up. Then it's interesting. Then the buy becomes interesting. But buying at the top, there's a risk as to where it's going to go, how fast, how quick it comes down back. So wait for a sell setup. You just got yourself a pretty nice buy setup here. It's still not ready to go. If you remember yesterday and the day before, we looked at it and we're like, it's not ready to go. I don't think it's still ready. Let's see. We don't have all the pieces. Nope, we're still in the consolidation. You probably wouldn't get it to go anytime soon because we're still in this consolidation here, right? Still in this consolidation. We still have to break the top. So this has to still go back there and break this top and come back here and complete this one. And then you get that trade to go. So don't try to buy above this top here. It might be a running flat. First, you have to deal with this one. Let this finish what it's doing. By going up like this and then come down back like this. And then that would be a good trade to the upside. So let's leave that alone. Let's see this one, natural gas. Okay, it came lower, so I don't think we have a sell setup. We're looking, when it was here, we were looking that if this is going to go up, it would be a buy. That didn't go up and we dropped lower. So running flat, I think that's the closest we can get to anything here, is that it's making a running flat. I don't see this piece fitting in for a contracting flat here. That's the only option you can have if you go with this as a 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Let it go back up. Put it this way. If it goes back up like this, then we sell. Two ways you can sell this. And move up like this. And then we sell. If it makes a flag here, we buy. Take this out. If it makes a flag here, I'm not sure we want to sell it. This also is not enough of a consolidation for upside. So we're still in that consolidation. We're back on the 1 hour. This sell is a bad idea. We have this 1, 2, 3, and we haven't got that. So at some point, we're going to get this one. Even if it makes a flat here and drop one more, it's going to go back up for that for running flat and then drop. So selling here might be a little too dangerous. We're expecting this move down. We're expecting a move down like that. But it has to make that pullback at some point. Make that pullback sharp and then drop. This one had some flats in it, so no big deal. If we get a really good sell setup here, then we'll take it. But with a lot of caution because that sharp move will come. And once that comes, then we'll get the drop to here. We'll make that drop and then go back. Is it going to be from this point? Well, we'll see. Because from that point, we're coming here and then go back up. The last time we thought this one was going to drop. And then we thought this one was going to drop. Well, now let's see if this one drops. This looks better to drop because we knew this one was going to match with this. But this doesn't have anything to go with. So this could be the one that dropped. Look for the sell setup. If it goes back up, we'll sell it. We'll put it to break even and see if this happens. I don't see a contracting flat here. One, two, three. No. No, I don't see that as a contracting flat. I see mostly this as a 1, 2, 3. That makes more sense to me than the contracting flat there. So let's wait and see. US oil. Sell is good. It wasn't really a flag here, but if you sold, I hope you can get out for break even, because this wasn't really a flag, but a running flat is very likely here. This could be a running flat now, right? You can look at it as a possible running flat. So an entry for a sell here is possible. Should it break the low? Should it drop again? You go with the trade. If it's going to go up, you'll have to wait for 6 hours or 8 hours for a flag here to buy. So if it dropped, we won the trade. The sell could go a lot more down. So let's see. US 30. Okay, if you got tagged in the buy here, it goes back there, take it off. It's more than, it's 2 hours now. How much hours? Just the first hour. So if you're tagged in that, any pullback to this top that doesn't take off, if it comes here, stop again, take off the trade. I don't think we're ready. I don't think it's ready to go. It's going to be in this sideways somewhere. It could come back here and then go. If you got stuck in it, try to close it to the top. Don't try to let it come back here. Right, because it can come back there in the 15. You probably come back here. Let me see. This is 1, 2, 3. There's no need for this to come back. Why do we have this piece? So it's going to be more complex than that. Right? If you got this piece, it's more complex. If this piece comes 1, 2, 3, it can come down back like this. Stay here for a while. We actually didn't even break the top. So once this get back close to there, tag you, close the trade. Wait for another setup. The only way you stay with it is if this actually went that goes really fast. Then you stay with it. If it's going just enough to tag, you get rid of the trade. S&P 500. This didn't tag, take it off. Remember, the idea was that they're going to go really fast. They're going really slow. If they're going slow, then you're still in the consolidation. There's no point taking that trade. This one here, let's see if this is what this is doing. Okay, so this is consolidating here too. We'll probably get a trade, but not yet. Let this go up here. Come back here, and then we go for the buy. It might even, we have 1, 2 sharp waves here, so it might even be come here, go back there, come back here, and then go. But once it starts to make this, we'll get a trade and go with that one. See, this one was more complex, so let's wait for this. Take this off, wait for the buy setup. We're waiting for a setup now. On all three of them, we're waiting for a buy setup. All right, so wait for the buy setup. And this one, you wait for the buy setup. If you're in that one, you will take it off, right? In 4, could that be a running flat in the 4 hour? As long as we get flags, we're going to buy. I know what you're talking about. It could possibly be, but it's less likely to be. I think you're talking about this one here, and that one there. It might be that this is a contracting flat. I don't like contracting flats, but there's a likelihood that that is a contracting flat. We have 1, 2, 3, and this one just keeps going up. So every flag we get here, we'll buy until it changes direction. If it changes direction, we'll go with that running flat. We'll go with that as a running flat. But for now, we will not do that until we see it actually turn. Right now, it's going up. So I don't like this as a contracting flat, but it's the one you have, right? This has some weird piece like this one. We never got anything for that. That's like a 5-minute flat of its own, 5-minute correction of its own. This one has a lot of correction in it. These two look relative. This one has a big correction here too, so it's pretty equal. Let's see. As long as it makes flags, we'll buy. We'll keep buying until it stops making flags, and then we'll see. When it turns, we'll be in the sell. It's not turning. It's making a flat for up. It's making another one here for upside again. Just incomplete, but another one for upside. So it's a buy setup. Tesla. By the way, guys, the way the room run is that you can stop me at any point in time and ask about anything, right? Our traders know that as well. I think they're a little quiet because basically we're doing this with a lot of traders inside. But you're welcome to, and our traders, don't be shy to remind me if there's anything happening anywhere else to go and check it. Right, we're still looking for a buy here. This is going up really slow. I don't think this would be the buy. I think this one would probably just do this, come back here, maybe even go back there and come back here and then go. We'll probably get a flat here and then go. Okay, let it go up somewhere and then we'll sell. It looks like it's going to be a sell setup. Let's see this one. As of now, it's a valid sell. As of now, I will go with a valid sell because we didn't break this low. Should it go higher and make a correction, we'll reconsider that for a buy. But as of now, that's a good sell. Actually, it's a really good sell. Should this thing drop, don't miss it. If it goes up, not our problem. Let it go up. Right? This one is going up, you should be in the buy. Actually, you should be a little lower. When we put the buy this morning, this was the low. Right? So now that it make a new low, you should bring the entry order here. Right? Because when we put that, this one was the low and we stayed a little away from it, right? Because we were like, this didn't break the lows yet. Once it breaks the low, you bring it here and that's a trade. If you kept it here, no problem. Let's assume you're in the trade now. Right? You just got tagged. If you're not in the trade, wait for a flag. It will make flags. You see, they go to make flags. Remember, we bought this one. We bought this one. I think we bought this one here and we kept it. It came down and then go. You could have bought that one. So at some point, it will make a flag and then you buy that flag. It's upside. See? Pretty simple. Let's go. Nifty. Yep, wait for this to start, turn, give you a sell setup because we're at the top of this structure, unless it break out of that structure. From there, you're looking for downside. This could come down back again. Okay, Bitcoin. I'm just going to do Bitcoin. You'll tell me if there's any other one you want because we looked at all of them. It's recorded. Better go look at it. Nothing much changed in these, right? These are, you don't have to do these so often. They don't change so often. When they change, it's already too late. So you can go with a sell setup here to retest the low. But unless it break out of this structure completely, right? So let's say you take a sell here. I'm only expecting them to retest this low and go back up. Right? But should it drop through the structure and start making flag, we'll sell it. I don't see that as a possibility, but let's see how it goes. Right? So it's a short-term sell setup. The bigger structure still looks upside. I think this is a running flat. Looks more like a running flat for upside. ETH, nothing much here. Pretty much all of them is the same. We already looked at them, and then well, I don't know why my chart is taking so long. This is more of a buy setup. We're just not buying it. I wouldn't buy it here until it really break out of this structure. I think I explained that this morning. So better to watch all the video from this morning. There's more detailed explanation in a lot of them. Okay, now let's go. Tell me what we missed, what happened while we were here, what you want me to look at. So start typing, or you can use the microphone. This is an open conversation. You can use the microphone. Anyone? Gold. Okay, go back to the 1 hour. And go back to the 15. I think it's a buy setup. There's a likelihood it's going to go back, break this top. What I'm worried about the buy should be all the way to the top, right? So we're looking for a buy from this low to go back to this top here. What I don't like is the depth of this pullback. This one was perfect. That didn't pull back deep. This one pulled back pretty deep. You can still take the trade. I think you can manage your way out should it not go. Try to get it a little lower. Don't let it tag you if it's going to go down. So probably put an entry here. Right? If this is a correction to go down, it will still drop without tagging you. I don't think a sell at the bottom here is a good idea. Right? Not until we get a big flat. Let's say they come here and they go back up. Now the sell becomes a good idea. Right? So if it's going to go up, it's a good idea. The only reason you want it to go up also is because if you look at silver, no flag. Wow. That is why if anybody had taken this trade, that small flag, it would have been perfect. So now we don't have any flag. We're going back to the top. It will make a flag, don't worry. This one went quite a lot too, right? This one here went pretty high before we got that. So what you want here is a flag now, and then we're going for that trade, which is the equivalent of this. If this was the correction in the middle, right? We got 1, 2, 3. Now you want this one up, and then you want that one down. So it's not going to go up in a straight line. I don't think that's going to happen. So at some point, it will make a flag here, and then we get to buy either in the Asian session tomorrow or London session. Join us. Can we move up the sell stop on Pangos to sell higher? Let's see. Pangos. It made a new high. No, don't move the Pangos one. I want to make sure it's breaking out of the bigger structure as well. We want to make sure this one is dropping, because if it drops out of this and drops out of the structure, the trade you're actually going for is all the way to the bottom here. So you want to make sure that it's actually doing that. Right? Because if it comes here, it can still, if it breaks this, it can still go back up, make a bigger correction even. So you want this specific one, you want to stay under it. Okay, HK50. Let's see. Let's look at HK50. And then we'll go, because I'll miss that. Oh, we had a sell set up in HK50. Close and re-enter. We had a sell set up here. So we can close and re-enter now. Put an entry under the low. Just made it a little better, right? Put an entry under this low. It wouldn't make a difference if we put it here, just a few pips away. Right, that's just a few pips. So sell setup. Yeah, this could be one. That could be a contracting flat. So go with the sell setup. If this goes higher, we'll relook at it for a possible big running flat here. But for now, it's a good sell setup. Good one, by the way. I think Ivan was in this one, right? You close, you get back into it. This should drop tomorrow for you guys. We're very long on YouTube, right? So we'll close this anyway. To our YouTube viewers, I'm sorry, we'll have to close the recording here. We'll continue in the trading room. So if you want to join us tomorrow, if you manage to watch all the way to this point and you really want to join us, go register. The link is inside the thing. You can register easily now. You wouldn't have to wait for any confirmation. You just register and join us tomorrow. We'd like to see you. Still have 2 days free, 4 sessions. Join us. It will be fun. So let's stop the recording.